Hello, welcome to Yin Yoga. We are going to need 2 blocks today and a bolster, of course, a blanket or towel if you would like that for a little more comfort under the knees, and maybe some water nearby, and that is it. So we are going to get started laying down all the way on your back, connecting with our body before we start moving and breathing. So getting comfortable here. If you want to use your bolster underneath to prop the heart up, feel free to do that. Maybe a block to also lift the head. Or if you want to switch it up, you can also do a prop under your knees, like so, just to kind of help lift the legs. So whatever you're feeling today. Settling in, closing your eyes. Letting go of any tension. Allowing your body to just melt down into the mat. Starting to turn inward. Noticing where your thoughts go. How you feel. Your heart rate. Your breathing. Just noticing these things without any kind of judgment or attachment. Begin to focus on your breath and deepen your breathing, starting to turn into that belly breathing. Inhaling through your nose and allowing the belly to rise. Rib cage expands, sending new oxygen all the way up through the throat. Exhale, sighing out your mouth. Letting everything go. Everything comes back together. That's a cleansing breath. Breathing in through the nose and sighing out the mouth. Making that sigh, that exhale a little longer than your inhale. Sounds like that ujjayi breathing on the exhale, where you're activating the back of your throat muscles, as if you were fogging up a mirror. You can do that while you sigh, or just your typical in and out of the nostril breathing. So let's start to do that, just in and out of the nose. Sending air all the way into the belly. We'll do 5 rounds of breathing, your own count here. Maybe counting to 5 on the inhale and then exhaling out for 6. Checking back in with yourself now after a couple rounds of breathing. Checking in with your heart. A little slower, that heart rate. You feel a little more calm and collected. The breath really can be magical, helping reset us from a fight or flight mode and digest, communicating throughout our body, all our nerves, that we're safe in this moment with just a few good deep breaths. So that's why I like to start class out really in tune with the breath, because it kind of sets up the rest of the session, allowing the body to be fully relaxed as we move. Last thing we'll do here before we start moving is just think of your intention today. It can be a positive word or phrase. And you're just going to repeat that to yourself throughout class. I'll check in with you too to remind you. Let's slowly remove any props. Coming back down to our back. Bending into your knees, soles of the feet on the mat. You can lift the hips up and then send them toward the heels, finding extra space in your spine. We're going to windshield wiper to the right and left. Moving with intention, noticing all the little parts, all the little muscles and ligaments and tendons that are working right now to allow you to do this. Noticing how it feels on one side versus the other. Practicing mindfulness. And giving our minds something to focus on. Keeping us present. Got it. Coming back to center. You're going to start to grab your right knee and pull it in toward your body, toward that rib cage. You can keep the left knee bent. Do some belly breathing here, feeling the rib cage expand on the mat. And now start to extend that right leg high, flexing the foot. So the knee can have a little bend. You can grab the hamstrings or walk your way up toward that ankle. Breathing here, just getting into the back of the leg. Good. We're going to slowly release, coming into that figure four. So your right ankle is on top of the left thigh. Using our hands before we start to compress and bring our body in a small ball, we're going to extend and lengthen through the spine, creating that extra space in the low back. So using your hands to gently press on those legs. Sometimes you'll feel that extra space, and sometimes you may not. Kind of depends on the day, how your body's feeling and doing. Gently release your hands and now start to reach for the left hamstring so that foot's going to come up off the ground. And you're gently going to bring the legs in towards you. Maybe extend that left leg up If it allows through the legs to come towards you a little bit more, keeping the right toes pointed to the right knee, and then that right knee active, pointing away from you. You'll get into this stretch a little deeper here if you do that. Slowly release. I'm going to bring the right knee down and the right foot down. And then start to grab that left knee, or you can go for the shin, and you're just going to draw it in. So it's a little different than what we typically do. Normally that right leg will be extended out, but right now we're just going to keep everything kind of close to the body. Breathing into the rib cage, breathing into the belly. Good. Now start to extend that left leg high to the ceiling. You can reach for the hamstrings or walk your way up toward the calf or ankle. You're going to start to draw the left leg in. Again, that knee can be bent a little bit, especially since this is kind of the first couple poses we're doing. We're going to flex that foot. And then try to keep that knee in line with your midline. So sometimes it can splay out. We want to keep it in so it's lined right up with the rest of the body. And then just focus on that left leg moving closer to you, closer to your nose. And we're going to slowly release, coming into our figure four. So that ankle is going to come on top of the right thigh, left toes pointing back to the left knee. Again, let's create that space before we crunch and bring it in. So we're going to place the hands on the legs, draw the legs away from you, pressing them toward the front of the mat. Left toes pointing to the left knee is activated. And now we'll release, reaching for the right hamstrings and compressing everything now. So everything's going to come in toward you, except that left knee. That's going to stay activated, pointed away. Getting into the hip, posterior chain, the glute. Maybe start to extend that right leg high. Good. Slowly bring your right foot down and then the left foot. And now we're going to bring both knees into the chest. Give yourself a little hug. You can grab the knees or see if you can bring the forearms to the knees and grab opposite elbows. This requires a lot of flexibility in your hip flexors, so the front part of the hips. Breathing here, and maybe just staying in this ball, breathing into those organs, moving everything around. Or you can roll it out, massaging the low back, just going side to side. Good. Let's roll over to the left and then press yourself up into a seated position, Sukhasana. So we're going to cross the legs. Find the sit bones and also get your blocks, have those nearby just in case you want to use them. So we're lengthening the spine, tucking in the chin. On an inhale, you're going to reach the arms up. Feeling that rib cage pull apart. Exhale, right hand down, left arm up and over. So here, if you want to use the block for the forearm to rest on, you could do that. Up to you. Just wherever you are, we want both sit bones rooted into the mat, chest lifted. Belly relaxed and sending that air into the belly. Imagining your belly is like a balloon that is rising. Someone's blowing up the balloon. Allowing that diaphragm to work. Inhale, you're going to reach both arms up. Again, picturing that rib cage pulling apart. Exhale, other side. Maybe using the block here. If you didn't on the other side, try not to on this side. We're going to try to keep those sides even. Sit bones rooted, chest lifted, heart shining forward and up. Inhale will bring you up. And so now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to mix up the legs. So having the opposite leg on top now. Sukhasana. With whatever foot you had on top, we're going to switch it and make it now the bottom. And see if you can tell a difference when we're stretching into the side body. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale. Right arm down, left arm up and over. Inhale, we're going to come up. Exhale, other side. So it may feel really foreign to have this other foot on top because we always typically sit the same way. So that's why it's good to just kind of switch it up, see what areas feel different. Keeping our body guessing a little bit here. Good. Inhale, you're going to come up. And I don't know about you guys, but I can feel that in the traps when we do that. So we're going to start to just roll the shoulders up and then down away from the ears, almost like pulling the shoulders down, seeing if you can feel that stretch. And then traps in the neck. We're going to keep rolling the shoulders. And switch directions. Good. All right. A little bit more neck work here, trying to release any tension and stress that we often carry in the traps. So we're going to sit on your right hand and then allow that left ear to come down to the left shoulder. Chin will start to turn up. If you want a little bit more, sit on the hand more. If it's way too tight and you're like, this is not possible, release your hand a little. Maybe just sit on the tips of your fingers. Okay, so from here, we're going to tuck the chin in a little bit and then turn it up toward the ceiling, closing the eyes, relaxing everything, just allowing that area in the neck to release. Breathing into any areas that you feel that are holding on to tension, just sending the breath there. If we're uncomfortable, the breath usually follows and gets kind of short and choppy. So pay attention to that. Lengthening out the breath, rewiring the way that we think about tension. You're in control. You're the narrator. Just breathing here. All right, and we're going to slowly release the hand and now just ever so slightly turn. So you're looking down at the left arm pit, shoulder. So we're still stretching the neck, looking down right at that crease. And we're going to do 4 breaths. So we're breathing in for 4 and then exhaling for 4 times. Got 2 more. Good. Now we're just going to roll the neck forward. Going to do that other side first. So you're looking down at the left shoulder. We're going to breathe in for 4 and then release for 4 times. Breathing into any areas that you feel tightness, restriction. Good. Slowly you're going to come up, looking back at the screen, and then we're going to sit on that left hand, right ear to right shoulder. And again, you can find that spot that feels like you're getting a decent stretch, but it's not just like excruciating. So maybe pull the fingers out a little bit. And then we're going to tuck the chin in and then lift up. Opening up the left side of the neck, traps. Relax the body. Good. And slowly you're going to come up. Remove your hand and just move the neck. You can go side to side, half circles, maybe full circles if that feels good. You can look side to side and then up and down. When you're looking down, you're also stretching all those muscles along the spine, the back muscles, those erectors. And then looking up is so good to do as we're often on our phones. So you want to maybe even use your peace fingers to just start at the base of the neck and trace upward, moving around the lymph nodes, just flushing everything. All right, nice work. So now that we got into the neck and the traps, we're gonna get a little bit more into the back. We've done the side bodies. We're gonna get into flexion and extension with the spine. So sitting nice and tall, finding the sit bones, grabbing your knees. Inhale, you're gonna come forward. Heart is shining forward, shoulder blades squeezing back together. Rounding into the spine on the exhale. Good. Inhale, we're gonna come forward. Exhale, round, chin to chest. I like to just move a little side to side here, so feel free to do whatever you like to do, whatever your body feels like it needs. Moving all areas of the spine. Cervical, which is that top portion by the neck. The thoracic, which is near the shoulder blade. And the lumbar spine, which is the low back. Good. All right. Now we're going to use our block to help us get down into the inner legs adductors. So extending the legs out into what I call straddle. You're going to have the toes pointing back to you, heels pressing into the mat. And then we're going to start here, starting to lean forward, have the block or something similar to that nearby to rest the upper body on the hands. So we're sitting tall, leaning forward. Like your pelvis is a bowl, and we're starting to tilt it forward like we're spilling it open. So now I'm moving a little bit further forward on the exhale. So on our exhales is the best time to shift the body. Just micro movements, nice and slow. So we're coming forward really little, like inch by inch. And so that block will start to come out in front of you a little bit more. Maybe you can lower it down. Belly is relaxed. We're breathing into the belly, still allowing it to rise on that inhale. Exhale, we're going to get a little bit deeper. Now we've been here a little bit, so maybe we can move more on the exhale. A little bit more on the exhale. Yin yoga poses are held for anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. Really giving the chance for the body to release. Coming back to that intention, keeping the mind present, focused on something positive. Maybe you can drop down to the forearms, either on your block or off of it. And then we're going to inch forward. And if you feel like you can't come forward anymore, that's totally fine. Just breathe where you are. One last little adjustment, moving deeper on the exhale, and then we're holding here, but not holding the breath, really breathing. As slow as we got into it, we're going to try to come out of it. So just inching those hands closer to you. We'll get out of it a little faster than we got into it, but the idea is just nice and slow. Good. Slowly coming back. Those hands can help bring the legs together. This is probably the toughest part of the pose right here. Good job. Shake it out. All right. Next, we're going to do our seated forward fold. So legs are already where they need to be. If you have your block, you can place it at the bottom of the feet if you want a little bit more. Inhale. We're going to start to breathe into the belly, create that space in the spine. Exhale, walking your hands out. So we're coming forward. We're going to activate those legs, point the toes back to you, and see if you can maybe grab your ankles or your big toes or the block. And then start to just relax. The shoulders come down, the neck relaxes, the head hangs. If you want to activate the quads a little bit more, feel free to do that. Here's another one that will hold a little bit longer. I know it's tough, not the most comfortable, so just stick with that breath. Go to your happy place, do whatever you need to do. No, you're working on a better version of yourself here. Letting go of anything that holds you back or restricts you. Creating more space in your body and in your mind. You're going to go a little deeper on that next exhale, and then we're holding, breathing. And the movements can be so small that only you feel them. Nobody can see them. Slowly going to come up. Inch your way back up. Inch, inch, inch. Good. Start to bend the right knee. Inhale, we're sitting tall. We're going to go for our first twist today. So reach the left arm up on that next inhale. Exhale, we're going to reach around the knee, or you can hold the knee, or you're going to send that elbow outside the right knee for the twist. And then the right hand's going to come behind your back. So spine is straight. Going, inhale with the left arm, going whichever direction with the hand, either holding the knee or elbow outside, or you can just wrap it. Left toes, you can't see mine, but they're pointing back to you, so that left leg is staying active, and then the right hand is coming behind the back. And allow your belly to adjust here. So breathe into it, allow it to deflate. turning at that belly button first. And then chest. We're going to inhale. Exhale, twist the chest. Inhale. Exhale, turn the head. So trying to bring that right knee closer to your midline, your belly. Think of that right knee going to the left. And then we're sending air all the way down into the belly, just imagining all those organs kind of detoxifying here, twisting, rinsing out. Slowly, we're going to release. And to kind of counterbalance that, you're going to reach the right arm. You can keep that right knee where it's at, or flatten it to the ground. And that right hand is going to reach for the edge of the left foot. And we're gently just going to start to bring the chest toward that left knee. Left hand is outside the left hip. Trying to relax your neck. Good. Slowly release. And now we'll do the other side. So both legs extended out. We're going to bend that left knee. Bring the heel as close as you can to the sit bone. Keeping the knee in the middle of the body, not splayed out. And then as we twist, we're going to think of that knee coming over to the right more too. Inhale, right arm up. You got your options to bringing the twist with your hand to the knee, or wrapping, or elbow outside the left knee. Once we have that, we're going to bring that left hand behind us, sitting tall. Knee is in the middle of the body. We're going to start to inhale. Exhale, turn the belly. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, turn that chest a little more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, turning the head. The right toes are active, pointing back. So to twist, we're going to get a little deeper, thinking of sending that right knee or the left knee to the right. That's to really help with a twist. However, now let's start to think of that knee pressing into the arm, right? So we're pressing into the arm, creating that friction a little bit. Breathing into the belly. Just creating that strength in the shoulder as we twist. Good, slowly release. All right, we're going to counterbalance that. Inhale, lift the left arm. And now we're going to reach for the edge of the right foot. So you got your options here. You can have the knee stay where it's at, or we're going to let that knee fall to the side. I like to keep it lifted just because I feel like that gets a little bit more into the low back. But if it's too much, go ahead and splay it out all the way down onto the ground. Right hand by the right hip. And then we're just shifting our weight forward, hinging at the hips, trying to keep that spine relatively straight here as you get into the low back. So you'll feel the stretch on the opposite side, so more on that right low back. And right hamstring as well. All right, we're going to slowly release, coming back, extending the left leg down. Give a little shake, a little rub down, a little flush of the legs. Now let's get into our butterfly, soles of the feet together. Heels in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Sending the hips to come forward. So we're trying to keep that back straight. We're not hunched over, rounding. We're just coming forward. Inhale, come up. Now bump the feet out, diamond pose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Or not fold, come forward. You can grab the shins or the ankles. Gently allow those elbows to open up the legs. Good. Inhale, slowly come up. And now we're going to make our way into tabletop. I just want to get the front body a little bit here. The hip flexors, we haven't quite gotten into that area yet. So we're going to come into tabletop first. And then you're going to start to extend the right leg all the way back. Pressing the heel away. And now start to shift the weight forward and lift the back foot. Staying here or reaching with that left arm like you're shaking someone's hand. We're going to bring the arm out to the left. Start to bend your right knee. You can stay here if you want a little bit more. We're going to reach with our hand for the foot and gently kick your foot into your hand, opening up the front body. Maybe popping the ankle. Breathing here. So this is a lot. This is requiring balance as well. Good. Slowly release. Extending that arm and leg out. And then drawing it back in, tabletop. Shifting the hips side to side. All right, let's go ahead and do that other side. Just move away from the wall a little bit. So extend the left leg back. Press the heel away. Feel the stretch in the calf. And start to come forward, shifting the weight forward. Now we're in the ball of the foot. And then lift the toes up. And start to lift that right arm up as if you're shaking someone's hand. So the thumb is up. Bring your right arm out to the right. Start to bend the back knee. Maybe stay here. Or maybe reach for the foot and start to kick into the hand, opening up the front body. So foot is kicking open into the hand. Breathing. Opening up that shoulder as well. Good. Slowly release, extending both limbs out. And then coming down to your tabletop. Shifting the hips. Nice work. We're going to tuck all our toes. Can't forget our toe stretch. That's a good one too. So tucking all the toes, you're going to sit back over the heels. If this is a lot, feel free to keep your hands forward on the mat. Otherwise, lift your hands. Place them on your lap. And just shift the weight a little bit, rocking it side to side, maybe moving your wrists, circling them out. All right, good job. We're going to come forward, tap it out, tap, tap, tap. And then start to come all the way down onto your belly. This is where we're really going to get to those hip flexors. And keeping your hands under the shoulders. Heart. Allowing those shoulders to roll back and down the spine. Baby Cobra. Relax the glutes. Exhale, come down. Inhale, Baby Cobra. Lifting the heart. Relaxing the glutes, maybe lifting your hands, floating them up. Exhale, come down. Inhale, lift your feet. We're going to float the legs, float the feet up. And now start to bring your hands out in front of you. Lift your hands and your arms. Locust pose. So everything is lifted other than the core. Here, your glutes are fired up. Relaxing the neck, keeping your gaze looking down. And we're going to pulse up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, come all the way down. Inhale, same thing, everything lifts. Lift it a little higher. A little higher. And then we're going to swim. Moving your arms and legs like you're in the pool for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Come down. Inhale, just the arms lift. Exhale, bring them back to cactus arms. Lift the heart a little bit more. Inhale, arms come forward in front of you, biceps by the ears. Exhale, cactus the arms, pull the elbows back. Inhale, reach them forward. Exhale, pull it back. We got 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and lower. All right, good job. We're going to bring the hands under the shoulders, pulling back to the heels, back to the back of the mat. Inhale, come all the way up into your Cobra. So shoulders away from the ears, a micro bend in the elbow, relaxing your glutes, breathing into the belly. Go ahead and look over that right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, looking over the left shoulder. Inhale back to center. Maybe bending the right knee. Extending it out. Bending the left knee. Extending it out. Exhale, pressing back into our very first child's pose. So big toes touching, knees wide, forehead to the mat. Rounding out that low back. Neck is relaxed here, so the head is on the ground. Coming back to your intention. Breathing into that belly. We're going to inhale, coming into puppy pose. So basically, it's similar, except the hips are lifted. So now the hips are high, walking the hands out, shifting those hips back. We're going to come to the forearms, and then the forehead meets the ground, or you could do chin. Breathing into the belly, opening up the shoulders. Slowly walking those hands back in. And now we're going to come to our downward facing dog. So start to tuck all the toes. Start to lift the hips high as you send them back. And we're walking out one knee and then the other, walking that dog, getting all the cracks out. Fingers spread wide. Relaxing the neck. Lifting up through the armpits, keeping the hips high. Breathing here. You're going to walk your hands back to your feet. Forward fold. Grabbing opposite elbows, swaying back and forth. And plant your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands come to the shins or the knees. Spine is straight. Exhale, fold. And now we're going to come into our Yogi Squat. So from here, you're going to grab your block. From a forward fold, your feet wider, or they need to be wider than the hips. Heel toe them out once or twice. Place the block in between your heels. And then Yogi Squat, we're going to start to bend the knees, lower the hips, finding that block, hands to heart center. Elbows gently pressing the legs open here. Of course, you don't have to use the block, but sometimes it's nice to just kind of get that alignment with the spine. So your spine is pretty straight here. I'll give you the side profile. So really try to eliminate any rounding in the back. Fully relaxing the belly here. Great for digestion. Shoulders away from the ears. Deep belly breathing. So slowly, we're going to start to remove the block and lay all the way down onto your back, keeping the knees bent. We're going to do one more thing with the block. We're going to get the block to lift the hips. It's always a nice one to end class or even start class with. So with that block, you can do any height level you would like. This is the highest. I don't really recommend that. This is the middle, and then this is the lowest. You're going to send the block. I like to do the middle, right on the sacrum there, allowing the block to do the heavy lifting. So the hips are lifted. I like to keep the knees bent. If you want, you can start to straighten the legs. It may create a little pinching in the low back. Just heads up there. Arms down by your sides, just full relaxation here. After this, we're coming into Shavasana. So if you would like, you can always stay here for the remainder of class. Otherwise, I will give you a cue to move into your Shavasana in just a little bit. Returning back to that breath and intention. All right, so you can stay here for the remainder of class or just move the block nice and slow, lowering the hips all the way back down to earth, extending the legs out one at a time, finding that sweet spot here in your Shavasana that feels just totally comfortable, no restrictions. And let it all go. Shavasana. Slowly coming back to your breath, back to your body. Moving fingers and toes. Moving your head side to side. Reaching arms overhead for full body stretch. Just waking everything back up. Bending your knees and rolling over to one side and just pausing here. Sending yourself gratitude for giving yourself a little bit of time for you. And pressing up to a seated position when you're ready. We'll do one last cleansing breath. So that's breathing in through the nose and sighing out the mouth, letting it all go. Namaste. Thank you, guys.